Imagine being homeless, broke, and living in a van, but still believing you were destined for greatness. That was Jim Carrey before Hollywood knew his name. No money, no connections, just a dream and an unshakable belief that he would one day make it. Years later, that same man would be earning $20 million per movie. But how did he do it? Was it luck, talent, or something deeper? The power of visualization, relentless work, and refusing to accept failure? In this video, we'll break down Jim Carrey's journey and show you how to turn your dreams into reality, just like he did. From rock bottom to relentless belief, Jim Carrey's struggles. Before the fame, before the millions, before Hollywood even knew his name, Jim Carrey was just a kid struggling to survive. His family lived paycheck to paycheck, and when his father lost his job, everything collapsed. They lost their home and were forced to live in a van. Most people in that situation would have given up, but Carrey did something different. He laughed. Not because life was easy, but because he refused to let hardship define him. Comedy became his escape, his weapon against despair. He would perform for his family, cracking jokes to lift their spirits, even when reality seemed unbearable. But deep down, he wasn't just trying to make them laugh. He was training himself for something bigger. He wasn't just dreaming of success. He was mentally preparing for it. At 15, he dropped out of school to help support his family. He worked as a janitor, scrubbing floors, cleaning toilets. But every night, he would stand in front of the mirror and practice his comedy. He wasn't just another struggling kid. He was an actor in the making, a comedian sharpening his craft, waiting for his chance. The difference between those who make it and those who don't isn't luck, it's belief. Even when Carrey had nothing, he acted like success was already his. He saw himself on the big screen before anyone else did. That belief, that unshakable certainty, was the first step toward everything he would later achieve. So ask yourself, what do you believe about your own future? Because belief isn't just wishful thinking. It's the fuel that pushes you to take action, even when the world tells you you'll never make it. Jim Carrey had nothing except faith in himself, and that faith changed his life. The $10 million check, the power of visualization. Jim Carrey didn't just dream of success. He saw it, felt it, and lived it in his mind long before it became real. He believed so strongly in his future that he took a radical step. He wrote himself a check for $10 million. Yes, you heard that right. In the early 90s, when he was still an unknown comedian struggling to get gigs, Carrey grabbed a blank check, wrote $10 million for acting services rendered, and dated it Thanksgiving 1995. He carried it in his wallet every single day, looking at it, believing in it, and telling himself that one day he would be able to cash it. At the time, it seemed impossible. He was just another struggling performer, barely making ends meet. But here's where most people stop. Most people dream of success, but they don't truly believe it will happen. Carrey was different. He didn't just hope, he visualized it. He would drive up to Mulholland Drive in Los Angeles, sit on the hillside overlooking the city, and imagine himself being one of the biggest actors in Hollywood. He didn't just want it, he saw it happening. And then, something incredible happened. In 1994, just before Thanksgiving 1995, the exact date on his check, Jim Carrey landed the leading role in Dumb and Dumber. His paycheck? $10 million. The exact amount he had written on that check years earlier. Coincidence? Maybe. But here's the lesson. What you focus on, you attract. When you see your goal so clearly that it feels real, your brain starts working toward making it happen. You start taking actions, making decisions, and pushing forward in ways you never would have if you didn't believe it was possible. This isn't magic, it's psychology. Carrey used visualization to program his mind for success, and you can too. The question is, what do you see for your own future? Are you setting clear, specific goals? Are you visualizing success in detail? Because if you don't see it, you'll never chase it. So take a moment. Write down your dream, see it, believe it, and hold on to it. Because if Jim Carrey can go from homeless to Hollywood using the power of belief, so can you. Relentless work ethic. Why talent alone wasn't enough. Jim Carrey didn't just dream. He worked harder than anyone else to make it happen. His talent was undeniable, but talent alone isn't enough. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is the effort they're willing to put in when no one is watching. When Carrey started doing stand-up comedy, he wasn't an overnight success. He bombed. A lot. His jokes didn't always land, and audiences didn't always laugh. But while most people would have given up, Carrey kept going. Every failure became fuel. He studied comedy like a science, analyzing what worked, what didn't, and how he could improve. He practiced relentlessly, spending hours in front of a mirror perfecting his expressions and body language. He didn't just tell jokes, he performed them with every inch of his being. He exaggerated his movements, contorted his face, and used his entire body as part of the joke. And eventually, that unique style became his signature. The reason people couldn't take their eyes off him. But it didn't stop there. Even when he started getting gigs, Carrey pushed himself harder than anyone else. He drove hours just to perform at tiny comedy clubs for almost no money. He would go on stage, give everything he had, then drive back home and do it all over again. He never made excuses. He never took shortcuts. He just worked. His relentless commitment paid off. He landed a role on In Living Color, where his insane energy and wild characters made him stand out. From there, it was only a matter of time before Hollywood took notice. But here's the truth. If he had quit after those early failures, if he hadn't put in the hours, the effort, the sacrifices, none of it would have happened. Most people wait for the perfect opportunity, the right moment, or some kind of lucky break. Carrey didn't wait. He created his own opportunities through sheer persistence. That's the real secret. It's not about being the most talented. It's about being the hardest worker in the room. So ask yourself, are you putting in the work, or are you waiting for success to find you? Because in the end, it's not luck that changes your life. It's the effort you put in when no one is watching. Jim Carrey proved that dreams don't work unless you do. Are you willing to work for yours? Or overcoming doubt, how he handled rejection and criticism. Jim Carrey's journey to success wasn't smooth. He was rejected, doubted, and told he was too weird, too over the top, too much. Hollywood didn't know what to do with him. But instead of changing who he was, he doubled down on what made him unique. Early in his career, he auditioned for countless roles, only to hear the same thing over and over again. You're not what we're looking for. Casting directors thought his exaggerated facial expressions and wild energy were too much. They wanted actors who fit a certain mold, and Carrey wasn't it. But instead of trying to fit in, he refused to change. He knew that his uniqueness was his greatest strength, not a weakness. He didn't tone it down. He didn't become what Hollywood wanted. He made Hollywood want him. He kept showing up, kept auditioning, and kept performing in comedy clubs. Rejection didn't stop him, it fueled him. And eventually, that persistence paid off when he landed his big break on In Living Color. Suddenly, the very thing people doubted, the thing that made him too much, became the reason he stood out. This is one of the biggest lessons in success. People will doubt you. They will tell you you're not good enough, not talented enough, not the right fit. But the ones who make it are the ones who keep going anyway. The ones who turn rejection into motivation instead of defeat. Carrey later said, "You can fail at what you don't want, so you might as well take a chance on doing what you love." That's the mindset that separates those who succeed from those who quit. Most people let rejection define them, but Carrey saw every no as one step closer to a yes. So what about you? Have you ever been told you weren't good enough? Have you ever let rejection stop you from chasing something you wanted? If Jim Carrey had listened to his critics, he never would have become one of the most successful actors of all time. The question is, will you let doubt stop you? Or will you push through until the world sees what you're truly capable of? How you can apply Jim Carrey's success mindset. Jim Carrey's story isn't just about fame and fortune. It's about turning belief into reality, using rejection as fuel, and working harder than anyone else. His success wasn't an accident, and it wasn't just talent. It was a combination of mindset, discipline, and relentless action. And the best part? Anyone can apply these same principles to their own life. First, believe in yourself before anyone else does. Carrey didn't wait for Hollywood to validate him. He decided he was going to be successful long before anyone else saw it. Most people wait for permission, for external validation, for someone to tell them they're good enough. But what if you simply decided that you already are? What if, instead of doubting yourself, you started acting as if your success was inevitable? Second, visualize your success with absolute clarity. Carrey didn't just dream, he put his dreams on paper. He wrote that $10 million check and carried it everywhere, programming his mind to focus on the goal. What's your version of that check? Maybe it's writing down your dream salary, envisioning your business thriving, or picturing yourself achieving a major goal. Visualization isn't magic. It's about setting a clear target and training your brain to move toward it. Third, put in the work relentlessly. Success isn't about hoping. It's about showing up every single day, even when no one is watching. Carrey bombed on stage, got rejected over and over, but he never stopped refining his craft. Ask yourself, are you truly giving your all, or are you just going through the motions? Are you treating your goals with the same level of obsession and commitment that Carrey did? Fourth, use rejection as motivation, not defeat. Most people give up after hearing no a few times. Carrey heard no for years. He was told he was too much, too weird, too different. Instead of changing to fit in, he made the world adjust to him. The truth is, most people fail not because they aren't good enough, but because they quit too soon. What if you kept going? What if you used every rejection as proof that you were getting closer to success? Lastly, take risks, because failure is inevitable, but regret is worse. Carrey's father played it safe. He took a secure job as an accountant, but still lost it, and the family ended up broke. That's when Carrey realized something powerful. If failure is possible no matter what, why not take a risk on something you actually love? So what's stopping you? Is it fear, doubt, the fear of looking foolish? Carrey was willing to risk everything, his pride, his comfort, his security, because he knew that the only real failure is never trying at all. The truth is, you already have everything you need to succeed. The only thing left is the decision to go all in. The question is, will you? Jim Carrey's journey proves one thing: belief, persistence, and relentless effort can turn even the wildest dreams into reality. He didn't wait for success to find him. He created it. He visualized, he worked, he faced rejection, and he never gave up. And if he can go from living in a van to making $20 million per movie, what's stopping you from chasing your dreams? The only real limits are the ones you accept. So what's your dream? Drop it in the comments, share this with someone who needs motivation, and remember, your future is created by what you believe today. If this video resonated with you, please like, share, and subscribe to Rise and Inspire.
Arnold Schwarzenegger's story proves that dreams know no borders or limitations. Born in a small Austrian village, he dared to imagine a life grander than anyone around him believed possible. From aspiring bodybuilder to global superstar, he never accepted no as the final answer. Through relentless discipline, audacious self-belief, and a fierce refusal to stay confined by circumstance, Arnold turned obstacles into opportunities. Today, let's explore the lessons behind his legendary ascent and discover how we too can flex our determination to achieve extraordinary success. Austrian beginnings and the seed of ambition. Arnold Schwarzenegger was raised in Thal, a quiet Austrian town with a population that barely surpassed the size of a modest crowd. Despite his humble upbringing, he displayed a boundless sense of possibility from a young age. Though resources were scarce, his imagination was lavish. He collected magazines about bodybuilding and power sports, mesmerized by the images of Herculean men who seemed to sculpt their own destinies with iron discipline. It wasn't just their size that captivated him, it was their willingness to push beyond the realm of the ordinary. Every article he read seemed to whisper that greatness was within reach if he was willing to embrace the pain and demand more from himself than anyone else dared. This belief might have seemed unrealistic for a boy whose home lacked indoor plumbing. Yet amid the farmland chores and the strict upbringing from a police chief father, he saw a different path for himself, one that extended far beyond the winding roads of his village. In his early teens, he began training with rudimentary weights, determined to transform his physique into the heroic figure he envisioned. Friends teased him for his outlandish dreams, but those taunts only fueled his determination further. Have you ever had a goal so big it made others doubt your sanity? Arnold faced that skepticism head on, seeing it not as a warning to shrink his ambition, but as a challenge to prove that even the most far-fetched dreams can sprout from the unlikeliest of soils. This fearless approach would become the bedrock for everything he did next. Bodybuilding as a stepping stone to stardom. Arnold's fascination with bodybuilding became an all-consuming passion, pushing him to master the discipline that would soon reshape both his muscles and his mindset. Armed with a fierce work ethic, he spent countless hours perfecting techniques, studying nutritional science, and visualizing every muscle fiber growing stronger with each lift. He entered his first competitions in Europe, earning minor recognition, but learning volumes about stage presence, mental focus, and the art of captivating an audience. These early contests were more than mere sporting events. They were his training ground for the spotlight he knew awaited him. With each trophy, his reputation grew, culminating in the coveted Mr. Universe title. The significance went beyond a medal or a short burst of fame. It signaled that a once unknown farm boy from Austria could stand shoulder to shoulder with the world's best. But for Arnold, bodybuilding was never the end goal. It was a vehicle to catapult him into broader horizons. Like a sculptor chiseling away at a raw block of marble, he meticulously crafted his physique to be his calling card, a symbol of relentless drive and ambition. Soon enough, Hollywood agents came knocking. intrigued not just by his towering frame, but by the magnetic confidence that radiated from within. He had proven that mastery in one arena can become your passport to another, as long as you approach every pursuit with unwavering determination and a hunger to expand your potential. Facing Hollywood's doubt and refusing to quit. When Arnold first arrived in Hollywood, his accent was deemed too thick, his name too long, and his physique too bulky for the silver screen. Directors and producers often sidestepped him, believing he lacked the finesse to embody any leading role. Yet, true to form, he never interpreted these rejections as signals to give up. Rather, he treated them like temporary hurdles demanding extra effort. He enrolled in English classes to refine his pronunciation and took acting lessons to improve his on-camera presence. Just as he had relentlessly honed every muscle group, he now tackled every skill gap standing in the way of stardom. The naysayers said his accent would never work, but it became one of his most iconic traits, lending memorable catchphrases to his roles. They said his bulky frame was too niche for mainstream audiences, yet it helped him command the screen with a larger-than-life persona. Sometimes the very traits others see as disadvantages turn out to be your biggest differentiators. How often have you let someone else's narrow vision define what you can become? By persevering, Arnold revealed a key truth. External critics judge you by what they see, but your potential is measured by the effort you're willing to invest to improve. His unwavering resolve to refine his weaknesses and amplify his strengths eventually paved the way for breakout roles in films like Conan the Barbarian and The Terminator, establishing him as a force that Hollywood could no longer overlook. From action hero to cultural icon, Arnold's breakthrough on the big screen was more than a personal victory. It signaled the arrival of a new kind of action hero. His characters combined raw power with a surprisingly genuine sense of humor, paving the way for blockbuster hits that transcended the typical boundaries of action cinema. But he didn't rest on the laurels of muscles and machismo, recognizing that audiences were drawn not only to his physique, but also to his charismatic personality. He ventured beyond the violence-laden blockbusters into comedic roles like Twins and Kindergarten Cop. These choices, unconventional at the time, showcase his willingness to take calculated risk and reinvent himself. Much like a brilliant strategist adjusting tactics on the battlefield, Arnold adapted to changing audience tastes and the evolving Hollywood landscape. He became not just a bodybuilder turned actor, but a brand, a household name that spanned continents. For millions, his accent and confident catchphrases symbolized possibilities beyond the status quo. This global cultural resonance stemmed from his refusal to be pigeonholed. He believed that true greatness means continuously expanding your skill set, never allowing success in one area to box you into a single identity. That same spirit of reinvention, combined with an infectious optimism, positioned him as a trailblazer for generations of aspiring actors, athletes, and entrepreneurs. His story demonstrated that it's not enough to simply arrive on the scene. You have to keep evolving if you want to leave a lasting imprint on the world. Public service and the power of reinvention. Even as he enjoyed blockbuster success, Arnold felt called to serve in a capacity that would impact communities beyond the realm of entertainment. His run for governor of California was initially met with skepticism. How could an action star effectively lead the nation's most populous state? Yet once again, he resisted the naysayers. Drawing on the same discipline and self-belief that had fueled his ascent in bodybuilding in Hollywood, he delved into public policy, climate initiatives, and educational programs. While opinions differ on his performance as governor, no one can deny that his willingness to step into an arena unfamiliar to most celebrities took extraordinary courage. Through bipartisan collaboration and a focus on fitness and environmental policies, he left a unique stamp on California's political landscape. This chapter of his life underscores a universal lesson. Reinvention isn't just for career moves, it's a method of lifelong evolution. Imagine your own aspirations. Would you dare enter a field where your reputation doesn't automatically translate into credibility? By doing just that, Arnold embodied a leadership style shaped by determination, adaptability, and the capacity to unite people around a vision. Through successes and setbacks alike, he remained undeterred, choosing to see each hurdle as an opportunity to refine his purpose rather than an excuse to retreat. His pivot into public service confirmed that superstar status isn't confined to a single industry if you bring passion, preparedness, and authenticity to every role you embrace. Legacy of a champion's mindset. Look beyond the trophies, the box office hits, and even the political stage, and you'll see a man who credits his achievements to a champion's mindset forged by discipline, unwavering confidence, and a powerful sense of mission. Arnold once said, "The worst thing I can be is the same as everybody else." I hate that. This unyielding drive to stand out and excel underpinned his entire life. For him, success was never a finish line. It was a continuous cycle of setting bigger goals, taking bold risks, and refusing to accept the limitations others tried to impose on him. Whether he was perfecting a bodybuilding pose, refining an acting role, or guiding legislative initiatives, he approached each challenge with the same rep-by-rep dedication. If something didn't work, he broke it down, studied it, and improved it, just as he had done with every stubborn muscle group in his workouts. Have you ever considered that your persistence in the face of adversity might be your most valuable trait? Arnold's story reminds us that resilience isn't a trait reserved for the famously strong. It's cultivated one struggle at a time. He elevated himself from an Austrian village to global acclaim, not by some stroke of luck, but by methodically building his physique, his skills, and ultimately his influence. The legend of Arnold Schwarzenegger stands as proof that consistent effort anchored in an audacious dream can transform a person from any walk of life into a force felt around the world. Arnold Schwarzenegger's path from a modest Austrian hometown to international superstardom shows that true destiny is crafted by the grit to keep pushing, the courage to keep dreaming, and the vision to see what's possible. His journey demonstrates that no obstacle is insurmountable if you're willing to do the work, adapt, and never lose sight of your aspirations. Now is the perfect time to reflect on your own ambitions. If you found inspiration here, please like, share, and subscribe to Rise and Inspire, where we explore the power of unstoppable dreams.
They called her a misfit, a freak, a monster, but Stefani Germanotta didn't hide. She transformed. Through rejection, rape, and relentless pain, she became Lady Gaga, a warrior who turned wounds into anthems. Her story isn't about fame, it's about fighting to be seen. To every outcast told they're too much. You don't need a crown to be royalty, you just need the courage to burn brighter than the darkness. So when life tries to silence you, remember, the greatest art comes from the deepest scars. Press play on your dream, and as Gaga would say, just dance. The outsider, bullied, broken, but unbowed. Stefani Germanotta, known to the world as Lady Gaga, began her journey in the Upper West Side of Manhattan. From a young age, she was drawn to music, teaching herself piano by ear at age 4 and writing songs by 13. However, her passion for the arts set her apart in a world that often values conformity. Attending the convent of the Sacred Heart, an elite private Catholic school, she faced relentless bullying. Peers mocked her for her appearance, calling her rabbit teeth and the germ, and ridiculed her for her big dreams and eccentric style. Despite the cruelty, Gaga found solace in her art. She immersed herself in music and theater, using her talents as a refuge from the torment. Yet the scars of bullying lingered. In a candid moment, she recalled bursting into tears in front of her entire class, overwhelmed by the weight of the taunts and isolation. These formative experiences, though painful, fueled Gaga's determination. She channeled her hurt into her artistry, vowing to never let the negativity define her. Her journey from the outcast to a global icon is a testament to the power of resilience and self-belief. Lady Gaga's story reminds us that our past does not dictate our future. With strength and perseverance, we can transform pain into purpose. The grind, rejection, debt, and reinvention. After being signed to Def Jam at just 19, Lady Gaga faced a harsh reality when the label dropped her after only 3 months, leaving her devastated and questioning her future in music. Undeterred, she immersed herself in New York's Lower East Side club scene, performing with her band and experimenting with her sound. During this period, she met producer Rob Fusari, who helped her develop her unique electro-pop style and introduced her to the name Lady Gaga, inspired by Queen's song Radio Gaga. In 2007, Gaga signed with Streamline Records, an imprint of Interscope, and began writing songs for artists like Britney Spears and the Pussycat Dolls. However, she felt constrained by the industry's expectations and struggled with body image issues, leading her to adopt extreme dieting habits. Despite these challenges, she continued to push boundaries, collaborating with producer Red One to create her debut album, The Fame. The release of The Fame marked a turning point in Gaga's career. The album's success, propelled by hits like Just Dance and Poker Face, catapulted her into the spotlight. Her bold fashion choices and unapologetic persona resonated with fans worldwide, solidifying her place in pop culture. Through resilience and reinvention, Lady Gaga transformed setbacks into stepping stones, proving that perseverance and authenticity can lead to extraordinary success. The breakthrough, fame, pain, and authenticity. In 2008, Lady Gaga's debut album, The Fame, exploded onto the pop scene. With chart-topping singles like Just Dance and Poker Face, she became an overnight sensation. However, fame came with its own set of challenges. Despite her success, Gaga was still battling internal struggles, including crippling body image issues and anxiety. The intense media attention only exacerbated her insecurities, and she often found herself questioning her worth beyond her music and image. But Lady Gaga's breakthrough wasn't just in the music charts, it was in her ability to stay true to herself amidst the pressure. She chose not to conform to Hollywood's narrow standards of beauty. Instead, she embraced her unique style and raw, unapologetic persona, which resonated deeply with fans who felt marginalized. Her music became a safe space for those struggling with their own self-worth. Her journey reached a pivotal moment when she performed Till It Happens to You at the 2016 Oscars, delivering an emotionally raw performance for survivors of sexual assault. The performance not only solidified her artistic depth, but marked her transformation from a pop sensation to a powerful advocate for vulnerable communities. Gaga's authenticity became her greatest strength, inspiring millions worldwide. Vulnerability isn't weakness, it's the birthplace of courage, she later said. Her ability to be herself in an industry that thrives on perfection is the real breakthrough that continues to define her legacy. The warrior, turning scars into strength. Lady Gaga's journey through pain and adversity transformed her into a warrior both on and off the stage. Diagnosed with fibromyalgia, a chronic pain condition, she didn't let the debilitating pain define her. Despite the daily struggle, she continued to perform at the highest levels, delivering electrifying shows, including her record-breaking Super Bowl halftime performance in 2017. For Gaga, the stage became her sanctuary, where she channeled her personal battles into her music, using her platform to share her story and advocate for others. But it wasn't just physical pain that she overcame. Gaga's history with PTSD from past trauma made her journey even more difficult. Instead of letting her scars hold her back, she became an outspoken advocate for mental health, founding the Born This Way Foundation to support youth who have faced bullying and discrimination. She encouraged her fans to embrace their differences, championing self-love and acceptance. Her vulnerability didn't weaken her, it made her stronger. Gaga turned her scars into symbols of strength, showing the world that real power comes from within. In her music, activism, and personal life, she taught millions that it's not about being perfect. It's about finding beauty in your brokenness and using that strength to empower others. You don't need to be perfect to be powerful. Your scars are your story, Gaga once said, and her ability to rise from the ashes to become a voice for the voiceless continues to inspire millions worldwide. The legacy. Champion of the unconventional, Lady Gaga's legacy isn't just measured by her 14 Grammy Awards, Oscar, or $250 million net worth. It's found in the way she's redefined what fame means. In an industry that often prizes conformity, Gaga has carved her own path, becoming a champion of the unconventional. From her avant-garde fashion to her willingness to speak out on issues of mental health, LGBTQ+ rights, and self-acceptance, she's been unapologetically herself, refusing to be confined by society's expectations. Her versatility as an artist is key to her lasting impact. After dominating the pop charts, she seamlessly transitioned into jazz with Tony Bennett, proving that her talent spans beyond one genre. Her role in A Star Is Born, 2018, where she earned an Oscar for her powerful performance and song Shallow, showcased her range as an actor, further cementing her place as a multifaceted artist. Gaga's ability to evolve while staying true to her roots has inspired countless individuals to embrace their own uniqueness. But it's not just her music or acting that leaves a mark, it's her legacy as a beacon of empowerment for others who feel marginalized. Gaga has shown that strength comes from vulnerability, and her authenticity is a message to the world. You don't need to fit in to be powerful. Her journey proves that success isn't about fitting a mold, it's about breaking it. Lady Gaga's influence will continue to inspire future generations to live boldly, creatively, and without apology. Overcoming the impossible. Lady Gaga's message for us. All Lady Gaga's journey is a testament to the power of resilience and self-belief. From being bullied for her uniqueness to overcoming deep personal struggles, she has consistently shown that no obstacle is insurmountable if you face it with courage. Gaga's story is not just one of fame and fortune. It's about turning pain into purpose and using adversity as fuel for growth. Her battles with mental health, body image issues, and trauma have not only shaped her artistry but also her activism. Through her Born This Way Foundation, she has advocated for mental health awareness, supported LGBTQ+ youth, and stood against bullying. Gaga has shown that vulnerability isn't a weakness, it's a strength that allows you to connect with others and make a real impact in the world. When faced with setbacks, whether physical pain from fibromyalgia, criticism from the public, or personal loss, Gaga has never backed down. Instead, she has used each challenge as an opportunity to grow stronger, more authentic, and more determined. Her message is clear. The struggles you face are not the end of your story, but the beginning of your transformation. Lady Gaga teaches us that overcoming the impossible is possible when you stay true to who you are, embrace your struggles, and use them to fuel your passion. Her journey shows us that resilience, compassion, and self-expression are the keys to conquering life's toughest battles. Lady Gaga's journey proves that no matter how many times life knocks you down, it's your determination and authenticity that define you. From the depths of personal struggle to global stardom, she has shown that transformation is possible through resilience and self-empowerment. Remember, like Lady Gaga, you can rise above any challenge. Your pain, your story, your uniqueness, all of it makes you powerful. Keep pushing forward, embrace your flaws, and let your light shine. If this story inspired you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Rise and Inspire for more motivational content. Keep evolving and make your journey count.